here from Expedition Electric, and today I'm going to show you how to put air into your bike tires. A task that can seem somewhat difficult, but we can make it easy for you, and just watch the video.
There are two common types of valves, the Presta valve and the Schrader valve. In this video we'll be using a digital tire gauge, a mini pump, and a full-size pump. Okay, to get started, unscrew the dust cap. This is the Presta valve. With the Presta valve you can use your fingers here to loosen this up all the way to the end. Once it's there, you're going to be able to press it in to test to see if the air is flowing. Both the pumps I'm showing you today can be used on a Schrader and Presta valve. I'm going to skip ahead a few steps, but after the air is in your tire, you're just going to tighten this back up and put the dust cap on. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to inflate the tire using a standard size pump. This pump does have a PSI gauge on it, but to get an exact read, I recommend getting a digital tire gauge. Before starting to pump up your flat tire, you got to figure out why it is flat in the first place. Either it was just sitting a really long time and the air escaped out, or you have a puncture. If you have a puncture or flat tire from a break in the tube, check out this video to learn how to repair or replace a bike tube. So for this tire here, I'm just going to remove the dust cap. And I just deflated this tire for the video, so I know it doesn't have a flat. This is the Schrader valve, so I'm going to make sure to use the larger valve here. Now, one of the biggest things that people mess up here is they don't fully get the pump onto the valve. They get it like here, and then they close it, and then they're not able to put any air into the tire. It just stops. So you got to make sure to kind of, if it's sticking in here, you got to hold it out, really press it in there, and then close it. It can be difficult if it's going back into the tube like that, so I could always put my hand underneath it. Near the rubber tread you'll see a minimum and maximum written, and that's for your PSI. If you have a tire gauge, you'll just put in that amount of pounds. So I'm going to put in 20 pounds in this bike tire. And if you don't have a bike pump, I don't recommend going to the gas station because it can be easy to explode a tire, filling it up on a very strong compressor. Use either one of these hand pumps, or I'll show you in a little bit the mini pump. Okay, so I pumped up the tire. Now I'm going to use the tire gauge here to test the PSI. And I'm at 23.8, so I'm just going to use this little hex key here to release some of the tire pressure because I want the tires both exactly at 20 for optimal riding experience. I don't want one tire to be, there we go, 21.8, and I want one tire to be 40 and the other one to be 15. .7, so we're going to call that 20 pounds right there, and then we're going to put the dust cap back on, and I want to make sure to match the other tire so that they're even. I'm just going to turn it on, and now it's on PSI. There's other options, but pounds per square inch is pretty standard. And then this one works for the Schrader valve. It does not work for the Presta valve. I'm just going to press it down on top of it, and the poundage is 20.9. Okay, so now we're going to inflate the tire on this hub drive 1000-watt e-bike, and the front tire is flat. We just deflated it. This is a 2-inch tire compared to the 4-inch tire, and we're going to use this hand pump, which really is an essential tool if you're a serious biker going on a lot of rides. It's important to have this with you, and an extra tube or patch kit. So on this tire we also have the Schrader valve, and so it works well with this pump. But this pump again does come with the valve kit so that you can use it on the Presta valve if needed. Notice on the handheld bike pumps that in order to get air into it, I need to flip this part up. So it can be a little confusing because on this bike pump, this needs to be flipped down in order to get the air to go in. So make sure you know which way your pump flips. Okay, so I'm going to get this tire inflated to 40 PSI. The recommended PSI is 40 to 65. For this one, I'm just going to go over the valve here, and then this lifts up to then allow the air to start going in. It takes a little longer to pump the tire using this small hand pump. 40 psi would be better for terrain that's rocky or rooty with a lot of bumps. 65 psi would probably be best for if I was using this for road biking. I'm going to put it at 40 because I do go over a lot of rough terrain. And I'm going to test it. Turn it on. 16 pounds, so I need quite a bit more. 39.6. So here we go, we've got some filled tires. We're ready to hit the roads, ready to hit the trails. Like I said, it can be tricky to put the air in your tire if you don't have the right equipment. Definitely recommend either getting a larger pump or the smaller handheld pump that you could take with you while you're cycling. The larger pump is better for obviously keeping it home. You'd probably wouldn't want to ride with that. And it can also has a somewhat accurate to 5 or 10 pounds the PSI, but to really get the best PSI you probably want some type of tire gauge. Now this one itself doesn't do the Presta valve. So the two common questions are, can I squeeze the tire to tell what pressure it is? And my answer for that is kinda, sorta, not really. You can tell if it has air in it or if it's flat, but that's about it. It's hard to really tell the pressure. And for best riding performance, it is good to have tires that are in the recommended range and the same as each other. And the second question is, can I fill up my bike tire at a gas station? And typically those pumps are made for more industrial car tires and not smaller, skinnier bike tires. So I'd kind of be afraid of an explosion if I was doing that. That's why I use the pumps.
If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.